was read by the Secretary General of the TUC that these are the issues, and we know they are doable, and a committed government should take steps to do them. But let me say one thing. This is an action in civil disobedience. This is not the normal strike where I am in contestation with my employer. This is an action in civil disobedience in such a manner that we express our revulsion to the degradation and the destruction of our environment by a few self-seeking individuals. We don't expect everybody to join the fray, because there are people who are benefiting directly from these activities. But for we those who are minded to be concerned, I can assure you we are in the we are far in the majority. And those are the people we shall galvanize from Thursday.
Angel, do stay with me. Let me bring in Professor Eric K.K. Abavari. He is the UTAG president for KNUST. Prof, I'm grateful to you for joining. We understand that UTAG, for the chapters in various universities, are supposed to be voting to either endorse this particular intention to go on a strike or not. What is the situation on KNUST campus?
KNUST is very calm, and I've been listening carefully with my seniors over there, Kojo, and that of the Ghana man, Dr. Who said that I'll comment on them later. But KNUST is calm. Tomorrow we'll have an emergency meeting with our members, and we will let them know why we are going to embark on the industrial action. And I'm very confident they will give me their mandate, and then we will go ahead to support the strike action coming Thursday.
So your vote will come off tomorrow?
No. The emergency meeting with the constituents.
And then will you take that decision at the emergency meeting? Won't there be any voting?
No. We communicate it to the members. We've got to explain to them why NEC has taken such a decision. And then they will endorse or otherwise. And that will come through the voting the next day, which will be the Wednesday.
Okay, so your voting will come on Wednesday, not tomorrow.
Yes. No, okay. Not tomorrow will be a emergency meeting with our members.
But do you pick the general sense that there will be that confirmation for you to join the strike action?
No, the university is on recess, and so it's quite really difficult to. We're not seeing our members. Most of the things we are doing on virtual space. So, but I can tell you, yes, majority of members are in favor, and we're going to do that. But I'm surprised about the other colleague in the other end saying that he's not aware about the event going on. I'm just disappointed, but I'm also not surprised because I don't expect everyone in KNUST to accept the call. So I see those groups as those who don't really care. But let me say something to buttress that of Kobono.
So your point is that you are disappointed in Dr. Solomon Foucault, who is a member of UTAG. Okay.
Completely. Because this is national crisis. And in national crisis, you don't need necessarily have to consult. Because the people themselves are in the know. Are you saying that it's members that they don't see events going on in this country or they don't hear? Anyway, Ghana is a free country, so I just don't really bother much about his view because he said that was his view. But remember, the coercive force of the state is in the hands of the government or the president. Let me repeat this again. The president, if you recall, during the COVID era, the president didn't go to parliament on the state of emergency. What do you call it? The state of emergency. He just woke up in the evening and said, "Shut down," and the whole country was shut down. If you recall that event, before going to parliament, because he saw the need that the country was in crisis, and therefore called total shutdown. I have been saying this, let me repeat again. You see, the government has all the solutions in its hands. The government knows all the problems. He also knows the answers. What he doesn't know is he doesn't want to do. All that the president will have to do is to say, I do not want to see any earth-moving device on my road. I don't want to see any champagne on any river. And I don't want to see any group of people entering into the reserve forest. Just a word.
Okay.
Just a word. So for me, like I keep saying, the president must resign and resign with his head on high. He must resign. And not only him, some people are there who also have power, if not the same as the president, but at least they also command power. Is the Speaker of Parliament saying that if something is happening right now, you not come? We saw him when he was fighting against LGBT.
Okay.
He has lost his voice.
Okay, so you want the president to resign. I'm grateful to you for joining us, Professor Bavari. He is UTAC president, KNUST. Let me go to you, Martin, and find out whether they have also concluded their voting. Hello, Dr. Eric Nebo Clark. I'm grateful to you for joining. Have you voted?
Not yet. Our voting will come off, God willing, tomorrow.
But do you pick the sense that your members will back you on this call?
Yes. So I think Professor Bavari have said it all. In an academia, nowadays you don't expect all the views to go in one direction. But from the information we are picking from the ground, I know a lot of people are against the destruction of our water bodies and also the forest reserves.
Okay, I'm grateful to you, Doc, for joining us. Let me pick a thought of Dr. Ken Ashibe, who is convener for Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining. Doc, grateful for joining. You hear today, organized labor say that they are committed to going on strike on Thursday.
Well, the point is that nothing really has changed. There's been no action from the presidency. And then as the Media Coalition, the labor unions, the Ghana Coalition, as everybody has said, you see, when you are people who are dying, you don't even need your children. You don't have to say anything to your children. All you have to show to them are the corpses who have died, people who have died in the pit. The lecturer from KNUST, let me remind him that one of his students who has just completed school, has his thesis to come and respond to. If that boy was his son, would he be sitting there and say he doesn't know what it is that is happening? So we are in a state of complete a crisis that is of genocidal and ecocidal, proportions. We have people who are dying in the pits. There are renal diseases that are on the high. There are, a lot of spontaneous abortions that are happening. And so the situation we're dealing with is not one of those things that we play with. And This is not one of the crises that we're going to allow any party to take advantage of. Everybody needs to coalesce around the fact that we are dying people and we need to stop the death that is happening. That's what it is. And so I completely, as the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, we are completely in support of what Labour has said. But the president has the power to be able to deal with the situation.
Grateful to you for joining. To the University of Cape Coast now, where Dr. Jerry Opoku-Ansah is joining. Doc, have you finished voting? What are your results saying?
Yes, we finished voting has ended at the University of Cape Coast, and over 78% of the members, close to 78%, said yes. The remaining said no.
Okay. Thank you for this information you've given us. This has been Top Story, brought to you by Telecel Connecting Energies and Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil. Enjoy a holy sleep. Up next is Newsnight.
Hashtag Stop Galamsey now. Good evening. It's 61 days to the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. Minerals Commission boss reviews tonight that there's active illegal mining happening behind a police station with the police failing to act despite persistently notifying them.
We have reported severally that behind Inyam police station, people are doing stuff there which we have not permitted. So how come that the police is not taking action towards the Enyinam one, for example, that Galamsey is taking place behind the police station?
We have details as the commission continues in its opposition to calls for a blanket ban on all small-scale mining in Ghana.
So when you say ban small-scale mining, Chair, this is my understanding. It means that don't allow anybody to do it lawfully. I understand the situation and the backlash from Ghanaians.
We have more from Parliament Assurance Committee, where Chairman Samuel Okujetua Blakwa has been demanding firm and urgent action to end the menace.
Civil society organizations, what everybody is saying is that we are in a crisis. So it cannot be business as usual. Something ought to be done.
Also in this edition, efforts to secure bail for more than 30 remanded protesters underway after the High Court granted 21 of them bail but denied bail for convener Oliver Bakavomawo. We have details as the High Court judge orders the Circuit Court to start trial of protesters in 72 hours or consider granting him bail. Meanwhile, more protests hit government as protesters both in Ghana and abroad threatens to hold more strikes if government fails to act swiftly to deal with Galamsey.
This will not be the last. We will continue to push the agenda of Ghana first, everything else second. Ghana first, put your party aside, put your personal interest and greed aside, and let us all push the Ghana agenda.
Plus, the call from some editors and some media houses on the fight.
Labour is our only hope.
I would love to hear from the Ghana Journalists Association on what they intend to do.
If we are not able to afford basic food stuff, if we say water prices have gone up, then we should be very, very angry.
We'll get into the election headquarters tonight, where former President John Dramani Mahama takes his case against the Electoral Commission to West African Elders Forum, led by former President of Nigeria, Jonathan Goodluck, to intervene in the ongoing challenge the NDC has with the Commission.
There have been a few issues bubbling back and forth, especially with the Electoral Commission and issues to do with the register. So we're happy that a high-level delegation like this is here.
We'll get to hear from the forum, which is hopeful Ghana will have a successful election as they begin their pre-election mission to Ghana.
It's a good example of the practice of democracy. I believe the coming election will be done in a way that will be peaceful.
In business, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison says the economy has recovered from COVID-19 shocks and is now poised for significant growth in the coming months.
And in sports, Black Stars hold first training session in Accra ahead of Thursday's AFCON qualifier against Sudan.
Well, we have today's episode of our Streets of Despair series. We'll tell you the story of a 24-year-old Trotro mate whose dream of becoming a journalist is slipping away slowly.
From my childhood time, the work I wanted to do, the one that was my topmost priority was to be in the journalism thing. No, I know that in this world there is nothing easy, but being on the streets is absolutely not easy.
That and more in tonight's edition of Newsnight. Please do all to join us with your thoughts and your comments is via WhatsApp 055-111-1997. We're live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. We're on myjoyonline.com, live on X Spaces, also on Facebook. You can hit us with a hashtag Newsnight. I am Emefa. Apawu, please do stay on for details after this short break.
Money promo nabo.
Everybody likes money, but what do we like more than money? More money! Join the Telecel More Money promo and win money, more money, and even more money. Simply opt in for free and reload your mobile and broadband and be the lucky winner of the 1 million Ghana cedis grand prize. Also win cash prizes of up to 3 million Ghana cedis in the daily and weekly draws. Opt in for free by dialing *500# or send WIN to 500. Or you can opt in on the Telecel Play app. The more you reload, the higher chances of winning in the Telecel More Money promo. Keep loading, win, and be a millionaire.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Couldn't sleep at night.
Mosquitoes will be whining my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy, now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. Me I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me die now my God with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
Hello, my name is Mami Akua, an entrepreneur and a mother of two. My work keeps me busy most of the time and sometimes takes me away from my family. But the safety and health of my family is very important to me. As a working mother, I cannot afford to take any chances when it comes to matters of health. That is why I signed up for a family health care plan from Equity Health Insurance. My family and I have access to over 700 hospitals, clinics, opticians, dentists, pharmacies, and diagnostic centers across the length and breadth of Ghana. With Equity Health Insurance, I no longer have to worry about medical bills. Anytime a member of my family visits a hospital, Equity Health Insurance has got my family and I covered. What about you? Who has got you covered?
Call Equity Health Insurance on 050-660-7910 and talk to them about your family health needs now. Visit equityhealthinsurance.com for more information. Equity Health Insurance, here for you.
Smile.
Persistent bad breath could indicate gum disease. I'm Tanya from Bethel Dental Clinic, Ghana. Did you know that gum disease is a common cause of bad breath or halitosis? But there is hope. As dental hygienists, one of the main things we do when you come for your periodic visits is to examine your gum health by completing a periodontal assessment. Gingivitis, the early stage of gum disease, is common and characterized by swollen, bleeding gums and halitosis. The good news is that gingivitis can be reversed back to healthy gum tissue. Regardless of which stage is present, a professional cleaning or deeper cleanings are needed as a first step to treating halitosis or bad breath. So, schedule your appointment with your hygienist now to learn more about maintaining healthy gums and getting rid of bad breath.
Charlie, this year's elections, I am really confused. I don't know who to vote for.
Why don't you know who to vote for? Let's listen to one policy JDM says he's going to implement when he's voted.
I think so NDC ban. You be bien juman kitten. My person branch executive na di omo be gym. Say akoko na person share poultry farm ketu bi near mao akoko bono near ton koko na mao near mao eduane a wo de beto eduane ama sika wo de beto eduane ama.
But why are you laughing? My guy, relax. So this is the reason he wants us to vote for him? Oh, the man hasn't changed one bit. Same old dead goat. Now let's listen to one of the many policies Dr. Bawumia has for the youth.
Jobs will be my major focus. Now, me be training 1 million youth in digital skills.
And see, that's not all. Apart from that, he's going to set up SME Bank to enable SMEs expand, to create jobs for the youth, and also increase demand with the buy now, pay small policy, which is the credit scoring system.
Oh, really?
That's not all. You then let me give you the last one. He says he's going to introduce Buy Ghana First policy to boost local businesses to help them expand and employ more youth.
Wow! Now, I know who I'm voting for come December 7th. Dr. Bawumia, you have my vote.
Yes, so these are but a few of DMB's bold solutions for the youth when he's voted into power come December 7th. I've changed my mind. I'm not voting for JDM anymore. I'll vote for the bold solutions man, Dr. Bawumia. Great decision, my brother. This year, Dr. Bawumia's vote, Vote Dr. Bawumia, number 1 on the ballot.
This is News Night here on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM. We're live on myjoyonline.com and affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. Tonight we start with the hashtag Stop Galamsey Now. And tonight the Chief Executive of the Minerals Commission, Martin Ayisi, has revealed there is currently active illegal mining ongoing right behind a police station in Enyinem in the Eastern region. According to the CEO who was making submissions before Parliament's Assurance Committee, the Commission has alerted the police to the Galamsey operation several times, but the police has failed to take action. Listen to his submission at the Assurance Committee of Parliament.
Licenses are not issued to anybody to mine a water body. So in the first place, anybody who goes to the water body to go and mine is engaged in a criminal activity. We need to be clear about that. It's engaged in a criminal activity. If we have to give any special permit for anybody to do anything in a water body, it's what we do for VRA. That from time to time they come for this special permit to dredge the estuary to allow these water snails that host the behavior parasite to go away. We do that, and that's a proper thing. Outside that, there's no way we'll tell you, we'll give you a license to go and mine a mineral in a water body. We don't do that. So anybody who gets into the water body is involved in illegality. We have reported severally that behind Inyam police station, people are doing stuff there which we have not permitted. So how come that the police is not taking action? So those guys that Minerals Commission has brought to the attention of MUSEC or DISEC, depending on where it is. The Enyinam one, for example, that Galamsey is taking place behind the police station. So it's like we've told you Galamsey is having a job 600 proper that is behind this new block. Respectfully, Honorable Okujeto and chair of this respectful Honorable Committee, the Minerals Commission officer has done his work. I am not saying that we have also not let Ghana down or we are 100% right, because they have told you that there are instances where people have had all their rights and they have made mistakes. Of course, that's why they are inspectors.
Well, the Minerals Commission CEO has also reiterated the Commission's opposition to calls to ban all small-scale mining. Martin Ayisi insists that will not and cannot help deal with the issue of Galamsey.
So when you say ban small-scale mining, Chair, this is my understanding. It means that don't allow anybody to do it lawfully. I understand the situation and the backlash from Ghanaians. Oh, stop it all together and reset. Or pause or whatever. Then the guy in Tinga, the guy in Dakupe who has sunk a borehole, who has spent money to sink a shaft, he says, hang on, I am not by the white water or Pra or Cobra. Why do you want to, Chair, if you permit me, punish me because folks along the Pra, Brim and Co are misbehaving? Why don't you go and deal with that problem and let me do my work lawfully? Those are the issues we are faced with. So I advise government, and I told my minister that it will not be proper for us to have a wholesale ban. That's number one. On the grounds that a lot of them are, the whole of Takwa is underground mining. There's a video I've given to Sister Jiagi. If you have time, we can play it. And I will advise strongly, I take you there. It's a site owned by a group of people. It's a typical community mining site. Chair, I'm not lying to you. There are 5,000 workers there. They have their license, they have their environmental permit, purely underground operation. Maybe we can show 5-10 minutes of it, not the whole, because the whole clip starts from Galamsey, the anger and all those things to the formalization. Maybe we'll show the formalization part, and you see 5,000. So the moment you say we are banning small-scale mining, not Galamsey, because Galamsey is banned, it means they are asking 5,000 people in Takwa not to work, punishing them for something that is not their fault. So this is some of the conundrum that we face. Other than that, our biggest headache is getting a place for them to work.
That's the CEO of the Minerals Commission, Martin Ayisi there, when he appeared before the Assurance Committee of Parliament today. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kwekwa Santi sat through proceedings, joins us via Zoom this evening on giving us more details of what transpired today. So I've heard a lot of lamentations from the CEO of the Minerals Commission. Did he quite exactly give proposals of how the Mining Commission or the Minerals Commission is hoping to deal with this menace? Hello, Kweku. Well, my colleague Kwekwa Sante is joining us via Zoom on this. Kweku, you have to unmute and tell us more. Well, it does appear that I do not have Kwekwa Sante with me on the line or on Zoom shortly, but we'll work the lines and get him back to give us more details. But this is what Mr. Ayisi has been saying on whether he has some proposals to deal with illegal mining.
But the main problem that is driving illegal mining is getting a place for the miners to work. until that is resolved, we only go around in circles. So then I believe the question then is, how are we getting a place for them to work? 4 ways. 1, through the graciousness of the large-scale people. So, Anglo-Good Ashanti, Newmont, Golfus and Co., give us a place, we license it for them. Until we spend money. And at least, Chair, let me say that for once, all the political parties have been listening to us, because I heard the Vice President saying that when they commission gold refining, that he has committed to making available the equivalent of $10 million to geological survey. I've also read the NDC manifesto, which is also saying that we'll resource geological survey. What is the bottom line to make resources available to explore all these areas? You find those who are in the pit, if it's open pit, if it's underground like Kakwa or Tinga or Bongo or the Bole area, those who are directly working there, those are the direct employees. Now, many of you don't know, there are more women in small scale than men. Yes, this 10 million we are talking about, there are more women in small scale than men. So beyond those who are directly involved in the pit, you have somebody who just gets up, clean his teeth, and then takes his aboboya or moto, he goes to the site. Let me say this in tree, or tree load. So he goes, they mark the register, and then depending on the number of load he carries, he's paid by the close of the day. He's employed. Now, Auntie Mansa, who has mounted a food joint at a small scale site, selling all kinds of stuff there, she's there.
Well, my colleague Kweku Asante now joins us via phone. So, Kweku, we've heard the Minerals Commission boss, including his vehement opposition to the total ban on small-scale mining. Really, I'm sure the issue also about the licenses that have been issued over the period came up. What exactly was his response?
Well, so the committee had been pressing him to speak about the licensing regime. And in fact, there has been documents circulating on social media and the mainstream media about the amount of licenses that have been granted under the President Akufo government. Mr. Ije says the licensing is actually what is keeping the country from being completely destroyed by illegal mining. He kept insisting that if the government stopped issuing mining licenses, these persons were going to go away and do illegal mining anyway. But these responses do not seem to have satisfied someone like Kojo Blakwa, who is demanding fair action, and he is the chairman of the Assurances Committee.
Listening to you carefully, one would have thought that the chaotic situation, the jungle system which we have now, where even people who decide to go through due process and to obtain all the licenses, and I have LI 2462 here. If you look at the first schedule of LI 2462, in terms of the conditions that these miners have to meet after obtaining the mineral right, before any mining can be done, they must obtain an environmental permit under the Environmental Protection Agency Act 1994, Act 490, and the Environmental Assessment Regulations 1999, LI 1652. They must also obtain a water use permit from the Water Resources Commission under the Water Resources Commission Act 1996, Act 522, and Water Use Regulations 2001, LI 1692. They must also secure a mining operating permit from the Inspectorate Division of the Minerals Commission under the Minerals and Mining Health, Safety and Technical Regulations LI 2182 of 2012. Then they must also secure a forestry entry permit from the Forestry Commission under the Minerals and Mining Act, 2006, Act 703, the Forestry Commission Act 1999, Act 571. You are telling this committee that even before they meet these regulations, there are many instances where the illegal miners encroach, take over their concession. And so sometimes, seeing what is happening, they cannot wait. And so you say that sometimes you have sympathy for them for not waiting and also jumping into the fray and engaging in an illegality. Is this not the reason why we should just stop everything? And as organized labor, the coalition against the mining crisis, the Catholic Bishop Conference, the Apostolic Fathers, all the young people of our country who have been demonstrating over the last few weeks, civil society organizations, what everybody is saying is that we are in a crisis. So it cannot be business as usual. Something ought to be done.
Quite taking that it was not just the chairman who was alone in this kind of dissatisfaction.
Well, yes, Emefa. In fact, the committee today was populated by NDC MPs. Not a single NPP MP who is on the committee did attend to the committee hearing. But other members expressed similar views. Al-Hassan Suhini, who is ranking on the Forestry Committee, Roxanne Nelson, Dafamepo. So a number of them who did appear before the committee and who came to sit through really did raise the number of issues about the mining leases that are continuously being granted by the Minerals Commission under this government. They insist that it is something that must be stopped, but the Minerals Commission boss will not budge. He insists that it is way better for these licenses to be granted so that those persons' mining activities can be regulated.
I take it that it was just the Minerals Commission that appeared or attended upon the committee today.
Well, yes, Emefa.
Well, stay with me because you were in court as well. Apart from doing your parliamentary duties, you're also on the legal affairs desk, and there are efforts underway to secure bail for at least 31 protesters who have not yet been granted bail by the court. Well, the Accra High Court in total today granted 21 out of the 53 arrested protesters bail with varying terms. The court, however, did not grant Oliver Bakavomawo, convener of the Fix the Country movement, bail and will continue to remain in custody. So take us through proceedings in the court. First, where the 9 persons were granted bail, Kweku.
Well, so today, 2 courts at the High Court did hear this matter. There was the first, the Criminal Division of the High Court, presided over by Justice Comfort Tasiame, that had the application of 9 of the protesters, including Elom Ama Abebi, popularly known as Ama Governor. Those 9 did not have quite a problem because when the application for bail was moved, their lawyers did make an argument that these persons are all employed. These are all persons who have fixed abodes in the country. And these are persons who are not going to run away from justice. They are going to stand trial. But the Attorney General did oppose that, and I'm sure we'll get into the opposition later. But Justice Comfort Tasiame, having heard the argument from both the Attorney General's department and the lawyers for the 9 protesters, decided to grant them bail. So that is the first one. And they were granted bail to the tune of 70,000 cedis. So all 9 persons whose bail application was moved at the Criminal Division of the High Court were all granted bail to the tune of 70,000 cedis and 2 sureties. These are not to be justified. The explanation is that the 70,000 cedis is not expected to be paid as a condition for the bail. These are amount of money that the persons who stand surety for these persons will pay if these 9 persons do not turn up for the trial. So that is the first 9. And then there were about 13 others that were whose bail application was moved at the general jurisdiction. At that court, 12 of them were granted bail, all of them to the tune of 20,000 Ghana cedis and 2 sureties. The catch, however, is that Oliver Bakavomawo, who organized the protest, who was the leader of the protest, convener of the Fix the Country movement, had his application for bail refused. And in fact, the reasoning the judge put out was that we know that Oliver Bakavomawo is currently standing trial for treason. The judge's reason was that if you look at section 96(5)(c) of the Criminal and Other Offences Act, the procedure, it gives judges discretion to refuse bail to a person who's already standing trial, who has already been given bail, if there is a reasonable suspicion that that person, if granted bail, may go ahead and commit another offense. So that is how the judge reasoned and said that there's a apprehension that Oliver Bakavomawo, already standing trial for treason felony and having been granted bail, should he be granted bail again, what is the assurance that he will not go ahead and commit another offense? So all other 12 persons, including Cedric, Amufa, and also Felicity Nelson, all of the Fix the Country conveners and other persons in that batch were all granted bail, with the exception of Oliver Bakavomawo. And the reasoning of the court is based on section 96(5)(c) of the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act that says if a person has already been granted bail in standing trial for an offense, the judge's discretion may not be exercised in his favor. And that is what the judges did say, although some of the lawyers in court disagree.
And the circuit court has been given 72 hours to start trial or let him go.
Well, yes, the High Court judge, in refusing Oliver Bakavomawo's bail, did direct and order the circuit court to to commence the trial within the next 72 hours. And if the trial is not commenced within the 72 hours, the trial judge's order, the High Court judge's order to the trial court is that it must consider bail for Oliver Barker-Vormawor if it is not able to start a trial within the next 72 hours.
And briefly, for some clarity, we know that the AG's position last week at the magistrates' conference was that they should not oppose bail today. Is that what happened? Briefly.
Well, yes, when the Attorney General did speak at that conference, he did indicated that as a direction of a sort was going to be given to state prosecutors to consider bail. In fact, that is the word Attorney General used, to consider bail. And in fact, when the Fix the Country protesters, the last 3-day protest that has just happened, when they also presented a petition to the Attorney General Department, the PRO, the spokesperson for the ministry, also said the same thing, that protesters should not be surprised if the state attorneys do not oppose bail applications. In the first instance at the criminal court, the state prosecutors flatly opposed the application for bail. That is contrary to the statements we've heard from the AG's department, the AG himself. They opposed the bill. The judge did not listen to them, of course. In the second case, however, the state prosecutors did not turn up at all. And so the bail applications were moved one after the other without the state prosecutors. And the judge did give the liberty for the for the case to go ahead.
Okay.
Unlike other times where it would have been said that, oh, the state prosecutors are not available, let's stand the case down. This time around, the judge did ask the case to proceed. And so one after the other, the bail applications were moved, granted, one after the other, moved, granted, except Oliver Barker-Vormawor. But this time around, the state prosecutors did not show up in the general jurisdiction where these cases were called.
That's my colleague Kwekwa Sante there giving us updates from proceedings in court. Let me bring in Noah Adamte. He's member and lawyers for Protest Defense, part of the legal team of the protesters. We're grateful for your time here on Newsnight. Tell me, have we been able to get all the protesters who were granted bail out? Have they met their bail conditions, you say?
Yeah, thank you for having me. So the problem was that the bill orders were given around 12, getting to 1. So there are some administrative processes that we needed to clear before the accused persons will be released. And unfortunately, we're not able to complete those administrative processes. So we are likely to complete it early tomorrow morning, and then we will focus on getting them out of police custody. So that is what we are left to do, God willing, tomorrow.
Which of these administrative procedures were we not able to complete, you'd say?
Yeah, so the bill, when the court grants bail, the processes that you have to comply with subsequently will include the courts giving you the record, that is the order of the bill. Okay, the order of the bill will then have to be signed by the registrar. And then the sureties will have to sign, and then the accused person, ordinarily the accused person should have been in court today, but they were not brought to court. So that was also a problem. So they have to be brought for the bail bond to be executed at the registrar's office, and then they will be released. So fortunately or unfortunately, tomorrow they have court. Okay, so when they are brought to court, we'll use that opportunity to get them to come to the higher courts to execute the bail bond for their release.
Okay, I'm also concerned about the remaining protesters, about over 30 of them. When are their bail motions going to be moved? Will it be at the High Court or the Circuit Court?
No, so there is a second batch. Majority of the remaining protesters are coming to the same court, GJ12, tomorrow for their bail applications to be heard. So for those protesters, they will have 2 courts tomorrow. One will be the substantive matter, which is before the Circuit Court, and the other will be their repeat bail application, which is before the High Court. So for them, they will hear their bail application tomorrow.
Well, I know you are not the lead lawyer for Oliver Barker-Vormawor, but that's the convener of the entire protest. Were you surprised by the decision of the court?
I would say not fully surprised, because we anticipated that the courts might look at that provision in the law, which says that if a person committed the offense whilst on trial, the courts should look at it in deciding whether or not to grant bail. But Oliver's lawyer, Dr. Justice Remsai, explained to the courts that Oliver is already standing trial for treason. And for the past 3 years, he's been attending court. He's never missed any court dates. So even for treason, which carries a huge penalty, which is death, Oliver is still appearing to stand trial. then for misdemeanors, he will definitely appear to stand trial. Since the overarching thing the court takes into consideration when granting or refusing bail is rather the accused person will appear to stand trial, then Oliver is likely to appear to stand trial, so the court should grant it. So we were hoping the court would lean towards us based on that argument, but unfortunately, in the court's wisdom, the court did not agree with us. But like you mentioned, the court stated emphatically that does not foreclose his right to bail. Okay. And so the circuit court must hear the case the next 72 hours. If not, that same court will be minded to grant bail. So we are looking forward to that happening. If not, we will come before the judge again to grant bail.
Well, we'll be following up on this. Noah, we are grateful. Noah Damte is lawyer for the protesters. Meanwhile, there are more protests to hit government in the coming days. And we've been hearing from organizers against illegal mining, protests against illegal mining, both in Ghana and abroad. In the UK, Ghanaians, they assembled at the Ghanaian High Commission to press home their demand. Jada Ishen and Isaac Ode, who both joined the protests in the United Kingdom, say they would continue to hold similar protests until government deals with illegal mining in the country.
I saw an article where it said that in this week alone, 11 licenses have been issued, which I think it feels like a slap in the face for the people that are currently incarcerated, for the people that are protesting both online in Ghana, in London, in New York, that as we are fighting like this specific issue, it is just continuing. The president met with leader of organised labour to try and stop this strike happening on the 10th. Whilst these conversations were happening, mining licences were being issued. I think the licences, there needs to be a halt on that as well. Arrested protesters are currently in court this morning, I believe, so I hope that they will also be released.
This will not be the last. We would continue to speak on matters that are concerning and Ghanaians and us living in the diaspora. When things are happening, like people are sick and people do not have good drinking water, the long-lasting effect is that if your sibling or a relative or a friend back home is sick, they are going to call you that I need money for hospital bill.
Well, last night on The Probe on the Joy News channel, which is currently airing, a repeat of it airing on the Joy News channel right now, we had editors assembling and having their take on Galamsey issues. Listen.
Labour is our only hope presently, and they cannot afford to fail us. If you go to Prisia Huni Valley areas, the right of way of these Greek towers are badly affected. Do not care. You can see Greek towers hanging in the air, and which is key because it goes to affect health, it goes to affect education, it goes to affect every fiber of our economy. So certainly organized labor cannot, they cannot fail us.
I would love to hear from the Ghana Journalists Association on what they intend to do. I think this is the time where we need a blackouts on certain key personalities and even some government or state actors who are involved in all this. We can do that, and we have to take a stand. This is our life at risk, and it goes beyond the reporting. We should not be thinking about votes at this time. We should be thinking about life.
I get worried. It takes only a selfish group to say, I don't care about what is happening. Because if you're not careful, you may be the first casualty. And so for organized labor cannot have a color. We all belong to organized labor. It cannot have a color in this fight. Okay. If organized labor is going to have a color at all, it should be green.
If we are not able to afford basic food stuff, if we say water prices have gone up, then we should be very, very angry that a few group of people have hijacked the nation's resources for their own selfish parochial interests. It should really upset us that someone can boldly tell us that they are able to buy 7 Sprinter buses a week from the proceeds of an illegal activity. The Red Cedar River, which is a river that runs through a Texas university, Emefa, you should see what the university has done with the water body on its campus. Okay? You should try a cruise on the San Antonio River near the Alamo in San Antonio. When people say, so if we don't do mining, what should we do to get money for our country? I say tourism. I would love to see boats on the Odo River. When I was a child, there was fish in the Koli. And my grandma, God rest her soul, used to tell me how palatable that tilapia in the Koli was. Where is it? I've certainly never had it. Have you ever been on a cruise from the Odo River to the Koli? We can maximize the potentials of our rivers. This atrocity that we've been highlighting on GTV Breakfast Show for 1.5 years by putting that water there, and Kafu Day and the rest of the crew and I have been championing this, has fallen on deaf ears like my other colleagues are saying. Organized labor does not have the option to say it will not join this fight. Organized labor's pockets and stomachs are endangered by Galamsey.
And you have some editors on the probe on the Joy News channel. That's Delara Siloklu, Rastus Asari Donko, Martha Krensulakwa, and of course, Thelma Taki. Let's do business. George, what do we have?
Well, Emefa, coming up in business, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison insists the economy has recovered from COVID-19 shocks and is now poised for significant growth in the coming months. An economist, Professor Peter Kojo, describes organized labor's planned action as in the right direction, but highlights difficulty of private firms joining. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, Sintas Tanks, and Pepsodent Herbal and Charcoal.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Shout! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
We have a new leader in town. Obiarenti. Amafo. Madam was Sibebre. When him say my baby, maybe more charcoal for whiter teeth. More charcoal. Not only that, maybe lemon. More lemon. Zinc for fresher breath. More zinc. And fluoride for stronger teeth.
Introducing the new President Charcoal pack with more power with a combination of charcoal and lemon for naturally whiter teeth. Grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you ready to turn your dreams into reality? Don't just dream it, own it with a loan from Fidelity Bank. Dreaming of a new home? Own it with Fidelity Mortgage Loan. Dreaming of smelling the scent of a brand new tear rubber car? Own it with Fidelity Auto Loan. Dreaming of getting the latest phone, TV, fridge, furniture, laptop or gaming console? Own it with Fidelity Consumer Asset Finance. Dreaming of expanding your business? Make it a reality with our business loan. Fidelity Bank is offering flexible loans to businesses, salaried workers and the self-employed at a competitive rate. Dial 0800 003355 or visit any of our branches nationwide today to turn your dream into reality with a Fidelity Bank loan. Terms and conditions apply. Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
Fidelity. If I believe with us, Fidelity. If I know I need your side, Fidelity. This October, come and encounter Jesus in a way you've never experienced before. The Maker's House Chapel International presents Experience Conference 2024 under the theme Jesus. From 6th to 13th October, join us for a week of divine connection and spiritual renewal. Be transformed by powerful ministrations from anointed men of God, Pastor Jonathan Miller, Reverend Eastwood Anaba, Dr. Dion Bias, and your host, Dr. Michael Brady Nyamiche. The venue is the Destiny Arena of the Maker's House Chapel International, Atomic Atchison School of Nuclear and Allied Sciences. Weekday services start 6:30 p.m. and weekends 8 a.m. Experience Conference 2024. Don't just hear about it, be a part of it. Experience Jesus.
Chale, you dey hear the filler where they go round. I hear say the Electoral Commission dey register some voters for secret places. Them add thousands of names to the voters register.
Me sef I hear saying they do one for the EC headquarters.
Them fee add thousands of voters for the ruling party in Stronghold and delete names of voters for the opposition in Stronghold.
If these rumors are true, then the upcoming elections cannot be free and fair. Oh, the Electoral Commission needs to address these allegations immediately.
My people, let me set the record straight. All these rumors, they are nothing but pure lies.
Really?
First of all, 21 days before the registration exercise, the EC publishes all registration centers in the Gazette, and every single political party knows the location of all these centers all over the country.
Okay.
Secondly, all political parties have their agents at every registration center nationwide. Accredited observer groups, even international observers, they are also present at these centers.
Yes.
All political parties receive both start of day and end of day reports at each registration center. They use these reports to collate the figures of registered voters. Simple. Finally, they upon registration. The total number of voters published by the Electoral Commission always matches with the figures collated by the political parties from all the registration centers throughout the country. Just say if it be anyhow. There is no doubt about it. So my people, don't fall for all the lie that is flying around. The registration process is totally transparent.
Now we know the truth.
We won't fall for these lies anymore.
Now you know the truth about the voter registration. The EC ensures a transparent process at every step. Share this information and help stop the spread of misinformation. Remember, the EC no go fit add one figure self to the registered voters. The 2024 election registration process, it be frinchem, it be clean. No kululu.
The luckiest star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah.
Welcome and now for a daily star 712 hash and found no regrets. A Sankoma investors are a striking gold. A Sankoma health workers are a diagnosing luck with precision. A Sankoma that tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. Say a Sankoma passionate fan or also entering containing a joy. Afraid to the stressor or turning a hard-earned stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now, a Sankoma, if you say your next big win is right here.
Dial star 712 hash and join the luckiest winning celebration. From the 1st of July 2024, dial star 712 hash to keep buying tickets as a group, individual, or even as a community. Win loads of cash and prizes in the community draw or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with star 712 hash. Join the winning streak now.
The luckiest star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. The luckiest.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison is insisting that the economy has recovered from the COVID-19 shocks and is now poised for significant growth in the coming months. He follows concern that the sudden surge in the September inflation and city depreciation showed that the economy is not out of the woods, but the governor disagrees.
Growth is fairly robust relative to the original assumptions. Inflation is down, the fiscal policy is on track. You look at the balance of payments, reserves are stronger, exports are stronger. I mean, it's really a message of hope that we have really recovered from debts that we went to in 2022. Macroeconomic conditions have improved significantly. This economy is doing very well. If you look at even the exchange rate, from 2017 to 2022, the cedi moved from 4 to 6 cedis, even after COVID. But the problem that we saw was just for 2022. The exchange rate was, the cedi went from 6 cedis to 15, and we are recovering. And we are recovering very quickly, just from 2022. So I'm quite happy about the record of Monetary Policy Committee and the work that we have done.
Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison. Now, economist Professor Peter Kojo has described the planned strike by organized labor as legitimate and is urging government to move quickly to address their concerns. It follows the organized labor resolve to press ahead with their indefinite strike from October 10, 2024. There are moves to fully bring on board private firms, but Professor Peter Kojo thinks that it might be difficult for now.
What extent can the private sector participate fully in the long haul with the public sector? Because private sector generates revenue, and that is what it uses to pay its workers. So to some extent, yes, private sector can join. But if it drags on, I'm not sure private business owners can find revenue to sustain such a long strike action and be able to pay wages and pay for utilities. As far as the private sector is concerned, it's quite a tricky situation, but they can throw their weight behind the public sector workers to a large extent.
And that is economist Professor Peter Kojo. Let's still hear the thoughts of an economist on a different subject. Because Professor Eric Osesibe is bemoaning the lack of innovation culture among small and medium-scale enterprises. According to him, these enterprises must invest in innovation to ensure their sustainability. He spoke at the quarterly round discussion on the economy put together by the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research.
I mean, if I look at the whole innovation ecosystem, I think one of the key things that we have to address our minds to is a lack of innovation culture, among our SMEs. Most SMEs think that innovating is costly, or it's not necessary. So they don't want to really invest in innovation. It's key. If you don't see the need to innovate, you don't find the resources to put into it.
Economist Professor Eric Osesibe. Now, the National Petroleum Authority has revealed that it would move soon to sanction some oil marketing firms over their failure to sell below the approved price benchmarks for the market. Full of revelations that a lot more firms are failing to comply with the price floor directive rolled out by the authority earlier this year. Abata Tsunti is Director of Economic Regulations at the National Petroleum Authority.
As we speak, we are thinking of how to even, for those companies, stations that we see who are not flouting. So what happens is that when you flout that regulation, there's a penalty you pay. But we don't want to dwell on monetary penalty. We also deactivate you in the ERDMS for you not to be able to load to the station. We are looking at to even tighten that regulation so that to prevent, so if let's say your company, you have let's say 200 stations in Ghana, and even one of your stations is not compliant, then you as an OMC, you are not doing your job well. We are looking at coming to the level of the OMC and sanction the OMC and not the retail outlet, so that you can get all your retail outlets to comply.
Abbas Tasunti is head of economic regulations at the National Petroleum Authority. To the stock market, MTN was the only loser on the market today at the end of trading on the Ghana Stock Exchange. It lost a peso and it's now trading at 2 Ghana cedis, 16 pesos. And that's all for business on Newsnight.
Thank you very much, George Riafe. And the Family Values March is happening tomorrow. Ahead of that, the Attorney General's office, we know, has missed its deadline to file a defense in the ongoing case of Dr. Amanda Odoi versus the Speaker of Parliament and the Attorney General, which challenges the constitutional process behind the passage of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill. Well, this has caused significant delays as the Supreme Court awaits proper filings from all parties involved. Well, proponents of the bill have also served notice they would hit the streets tomorrow to pile pressure on the judiciary to fast-track the hearing of the cases before it, challenging the passage of the anti-LGBTQ plus bill. But the judiciary, in its defense, says the failure of parties to file the needed memorandum of issues is a major obstacle. My colleague Faustina Safo was at that press conference, joins me in studio with details. Well, Fosti, why is the judiciary or the judicial service blaming the parties involved for the delay in the case?
Well, they give a little bit of a background. In the case of Dr. Amanda Odoi versus the Speaker of Parliament and the Attorney General, it was filed as far back as 11th of June 2023 on the grounds that Parliament had contravened Article 108 of the 1992 Constitution during the passage of the bill. Well, Parliament filed its defense in a form of a statement of case in March 2024. Parliament was supposed to to file its defense within 14 days of notice of action. However, it submitted its defense on the 14th of March. Now, the Attorney General is yet to file a defense in form of a statement of case. Additionally, none of the three parties has filed issues to be decided by the court as directed by the Supreme Court. Now, here's a member of the Judicial Service PR team, Justice Eleanor Faye, with details about this. We'll hear from her shortly and also give you, Emefa, a breakdown of updates with regards to Richard Sky case. But first, let's listen to Justice Eleanor Faye. She is a member of the Judicial Service PR team.
Now, the case of Dr. Amanda Odoi versus the Speaker of Parliament and the Attorney General was filed on 11 June 2023 on grounds that Parliament had contravened Article 108 of the 1992 Constitution in the passage of the bill. Parliament filed its defense in the form of a statement of case in March 2024. Parliament was supposed to file its defense within 14 days of the notice of the action. However, Parliament filed its defense on 14th March 2024. The Attorney General has not filed a defense in the form of a statement of case. Neither have the three parties filed the issues to be decided by the court as directed by the Supreme Court Rules 1996 CI 16. On 1st October 2024, the lawyer for Parliament filed an application asking the court to give permission for Parliament to file its defense, even though they had exceeded the 14 days set by the Supreme Court Rule CI 16. This application will be heard within the first week of the Supreme Court sitting, being the 15th to the 17th of October 2024.
Well, now, can you give us, or bring us up to speed on where the Supreme Court stands with the Richard Sky case?
Yes, with the Richard Sky's case, they are also challenging the passage of the bill on the grounds that Parliament violated Article 108. Neither Parliament nor the Attorney General has filed a defense yet. Both parties have failed to meet the requirement to submit their statement of case and memorandum of issues, causing further delays. Let's listen to her.
Now, in respect of Richard Sky versus Parliament of Ghana and the Attorney General, it was filed on 5th March 2024. The plaintiffs also want a declaration. The plaintiff also wants a declaration, among others, that the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill was passed in violation of Article 108 of the 1992 Constitution. Neither Parliament nor the Attorney General has filed a defense in the form of a statement of case. All three parties have not filed the needed memorandum of issues that they need the court to settle. The general public is assured that the Supreme Court Registry is ready to receive all processes that need to be filed.
That's a member of the Judicial Service PR team, Justice Ellen Ofe. Let's do sports. Mr. Cranting is here. Hey.
Hi, Emefa. Let's go straight into the stories. And Ghana's Black Stars held their first training session in Accra ahead of Thursday's AFCON qualifier against Sudan. Ottawa's men are currently third in their group, 5 points behind leaders Angola. Lawrence Bedu was at the training session and reports.
The Black Stars have completed their first training section ahead of facing Sudan in the doubleheader as part of their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. 11 players were available for head coach Otuado in the opening session. 10 players were actively involved in the training section except Isaac Afo, who was in Ghana Premier League action with Samatex on Sunday. He did a bit of recovery walking around with a physical trainer, while the 10 others were involved in active training session. The section included passing drills, rondos, and then warm-up to get the players in shape ahead of their 2 subsequent training sessions. Ghana faced Sudan at the Accra Sports Stadium on Thursday before traveling to Libya for the second leg.
That was Joy Sports' Lawrence Bedu with that report. The Joy Sports Invitational is happening at the Legon Stadium on October 26th. Activities on the day include men's football competition, the women's penalty shootout, mixed 4x1 relay, volleyball, basketball shooting, lime and spoon relay, and then the CEO penalty shootout. To register, simply call 054-912-6905. That's 054-912-6905.
Which one are you participating in?
I'm a jack of all trades and a master of everything too.
I'm doing 100 meters. We'll see.
God bless you.
Well, let's get into the election headquarters now.
Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants (CIMA) and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants (AICPA), together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty, Chopbox Technologies, a convenient service, Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development, and Syntex Tanks. Aye strong, aye tough.
And tonight, NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama has called on the West African Elders Forum to intervene over the growing concerns regarding the electoral register. The forum, formed by former West African leaders, aims to prevent election-related conflicts and promote peace by advocating for credible elections across the region. The NDC argues that the current electoral rule is riddled with errors and unfit for purpose. He's urging the forum to engage with the Electoral Commission and ensure that necessary reforms are made.
We have an election in barely 61 days, and there have been a few issues bubbling back and forth, especially with the Electoral Commission and issues to do with the register. So we're happy that a high-level delegation like this is here so that we can go through some of the concerns we have. We all want a peaceful election, but a peaceful election is predicated on the groundwork and the preparation that is done before the election.
Well, the delegation led by former President Goodluck Jonathan acknowledges that the sub-region is not immune to conflict, but remains optimistic that all parties will prioritize peace.
We are not immune to conflicts, and we've seen that there are a lot of conflicts in the continent and conflicts in ECOWAS. And most of the conflicts are related to elections, and that's why we are placing so much emphasis on the election. Ghana so far is one of our countries that have been conducting elections that has not led to excessive violence.
That's Goodluck Jonathan there leading the team. They first met with the former President John Dramani Mahama, and they will engage other flag bearers of the various political parties. Now, at 24, Godwin Osei's dream of becoming a journalist is slowly slipping away. He works as a trotro mate in Accra, hustling to survive after his single mother could not afford to further his education. In this episode of Streets of Despair series, Kenneth Jesse tells the story of the ambitious young man from Efijasi Banco who, despite life challenges, remains hopeful for a better future.
Godwin starts his day at 4:30 a.m. His bed? The worn-out seat of a trotro. For the past 6 months, this has been his home. He calls out routes, collects fares, and pushes through Accra's endless traffic.
The sake of the network road we do, the carries a road is sleep. Unless I do not work that very day, then I went to one of my friends.
But Godwin's story did not start here. He grew up in Efijasi Banco, dreaming of becoming a journalist. After completing high school in 2018, his family's financial struggles forced him to put those dreams on hold.
Since from my childhood time, the work I wanted to do, the one that was my topmost priority was to be in the journalism thing. Yeah. So I started the mate work there about SS time. When we vacate from school, then I get back to one of my uncles at Bremen UGC. Then they be there that I commenced the mate work.
Now he wakes up each day with the same determination. Despite the hardships, he remains hopeful, believing things will get better.
It's not easy to roam on the street to find a food for yourself and cater for yourself. It's very, very hard work. No, I know that in this world there is nothing easy, but being on the street is absolutely not easy. Though my mother helped, but you can't always. I'm not his only child or something like that, and I'm the eldest one among them.
Before we left, I asked Godwin to show us his true passion, and when he did, It was clear he had the heart of a journalist.
Yo, mind this year, no, see, abo, and I opepon, a bobo sumeda, a tosso, a dunai, a fimpimiano, and a duano, and I move. And you may know, see, I can see a ball, and I have one, I did bemo, and for my so, and for close to any year, I be brimaya. The SEC were a manchiane and Chiano so or my gun and muha and Eddie Blowy. Me or can kind for me day or can kind semi Abramo. Me PSC and Anaya or say, aka Amman for the door stocky.
Each day, Godwin puts on a brave face, hustling to make ends meet. To passengers, he's just another mate, but behind his eyes lie big dreams, telling stories, not from the streets, but from the very newsrooms he has always aspired to join. Kenneth Jesse for Joy News.
Stories like this definitely inspire, and that's how we end today's edition of Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM. Nanansa Kwaw is up next with That's My Opinion. You want to stay for that. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apawu. Many thanks for your company. Have a good evening.